Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Trox.
It's your boy Reese.
What up with your mind? Hey, forget all that. It ain't about us today. We got a special guest in the building with us. Let me go ahead and introduce her, and then I'll introduce the teaser, and we'll get right into this topic because she's a very busy young lady who said, hey, y'all got 40 minutes, and then I'm out this hoe. So with that being said, she is a comedian out of Atlanta. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, she is also a relationship expert. She's a seasoned traveler, host of the Kyndra Crump show and podcast, also a recent graduate from the prestigious historically black university known as Clark Atlanta University. Shout out to my HBCU sisterhood, Aggie Pride over here all day, every day. And also, she is now a friend of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the podcast, it is my honor to present to you Kyndra Crump. How you doing over there?
Oh man, I love that monologue. It did not put me to sleep. Almost didn't, but it did. I'm great. How you doing?
That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. All right. Well, Kyndra, of course you're here because in addition to all of those things, you have some expertise that we're going to benefit from on today's episode. And I'll give you all a hint of what the episode is about. We are going to be covering some things you might want to know while traveling during COVID. But before we do that, as you know, the best way to travel long distances is probably through the air, and sometimes you got to travel over something that our podcast is sponsored by, which is bodies of water. That's right. So with that, Reese, let's go ahead and tell these people what they need in their life and where they can find it. Today's episode, this is episode 12 of the I Don't Be Knowing podcast, can be sponsored by you, but today it's sponsored by H2O. And if you want to take this spot, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Just hit us up. Hit us on IG, hit us on our social medias, and find us that way. And we'll replace this fake ad for water so quickly with your product as long as it is appropriate and we find some purpose for it ourselves. And we're looking for beard products, so send that over here too. But let's get back to the person of the hour. Kyndra.
Or the 40 minutes.
Excuse me. The person of the 40 minutes. Excuse me.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, it has been for the hour because we started, a little bit after our time, so it has been for that. Actually, it's been for a few hours because you hit me earlier today, so the time is still ticking.
Listen, that's that fresh college brain right there. She said, I graduated, I could do math, y'all ain't gonna be messing with me, my money, and my minutes. So I feel you. But with that being said, we gotta get into the tradition. Reese, why don't you go ahead and break us off with a quick 1-2. I'll hit that freestyle and we'll get right into this episode with our guest.
All right.
Hey. I don't be knowing. All right, that's it. That's all we can afford today. We can't run the bill up.
I'm really tired of doing that, guys. So please send some music in, man. Give us an intro song. I'm tired of doing that. All right, go.
Kyndra, you don't do music? With everything else you do, you don't do music?
I do. You want to hear a hot 16?
Oh, we only got time for a hot 8. But do what you got to do.
Can we afford it?
Yeah, can we afford it? That's the
question.
You
can afford it. Make sure nobody copyrights this, all right? Because I wrote it a little while back. All right, you ready?
Yep,
okay.
We're ready.
Kyndra, in all black, I stay strapped. What you know about that Kridnack mixtape coming out soon? All right, that's it.
We can't get no run back on that. That's all we get. That's messed up.
Either that, I'll give you like a more extensive, filthier rap. But I don't know children listen to this, so I don't want you to doghouse with your wife. So I don't want you in trouble. I try to save you, so I'm not gonna spit that rap right there. All right.
See, y'all, I told y'all she's a relationship expert, and what she just did was she respected marriage and boundaries. Kyndra Crump is for the people. She's for the blacks, and she's for the marriage. Kyndra, we don't deserve you. We don't deserve you. All right.
I mean, because I look at it like this. It's not because it's the wrong thing to do. It's because God's going to come back after me. I ain't got time to play with God. Because I'm telling you, I be wanting to do so much mess, right? But then I know, Kyndra, God is going to come back after you. All right? Leave that person alone. And that's what I do. The end.
So note, okay, she's not afraid to be messy. She just don't want to deal with God. All right, we got you, Kyndra. We understand. All right, let's go ahead and get into this episode because I want to pick your brain on a couple of these things. Reese kind of brought this idea up, and we thought you would be the perfect fit for it. With the summer right around the corner, people are starting to travel. All the stats are leading to it being a busy travel season all over again. Reese was like, why don't we do an episode on helping people understand how to prepare for travel during the season of COVID or during the season of vaccination and COVID. Then I remembered, go ahead, Reese.
Me personally, I haven't been in the airport, and definitely since COVID started. So I feel like things have changed. Like there's some things that us non-seasoned travelers need to catch up on.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I wanted. It was only perfect that we get Kyndra on here because, in addition to being a person who apparently has not been very afraid of traveling during COVID. Correct me if I'm wrong, right, Kyndra?
Nope. Listen, I go everywhere. I don't care. COVID be like next to me. I say, hey, you got your buddy pass? And it says nope. I said, peace.
At the beginning of COVID, me and my family sat and looked at all the airline tickets when they dropped really low. And we got 4 kids, so they always want to go on an airplane. And we were like, this is the only time we're going to be able to afford to get them all on a plane. But we didn't do it though.
Yeah. I hate to be another sad ending to a potentially good story. We were this close to going to Hawaii right when it broke out. And my wife was like, what if we can't get back? And I'm like, you said that like that's a bad thing. L.A., Hawaii. L.A., Hawaii.
That ain't bad.
But with that, Kyndra, where have you been since COVID?
Well, I'm on state number 18 right now. So let's see. I went to Dallas last year. Then I went to Florida. I did not see crocodiles. That's what I was looking for out there. I'm like, I know they be walking around, but I'm like, what part of Florida they be in? I didn't see that. So now, last week I was in LA. This week I'm in Phoenix. The week after that, I'll be in West Palm Beach. The week after that, I will be in Chicago. Then a few weeks after that, back to Florida. I'll be outside of Daytona. Then a couple of weeks after that, I'll be in Orlando. Then a week after that, I will be in either Houston or Washington. Then a few weeks after that, I'll be in New York for the first time. Hopefully some people got to get back with me. Then after that, I'll be out back in Florida again. And then I'm going to be in some white areas around this time next year. I'm going to go to Montana. Oh, I should go to Idaho. All right, I'm going to go to Idaho. I'm going to go to North Dakota, and I might just hit South Dakota.
I've been to North Dakota.
And yes.
What?
So when you saw one of us, did you get excited, or you just like?
My pops lived out there, so
Oh.
I was going to one.
Anybody else besides your father?
Yeah,
did you see a random Negro?
Yeah, it's an Air Force base out there, so they got them.
Oh, well, those.
Okay, good. So you say hello, Broham. No, but yeah, listen. Let me tell you something, man. The show still must go on because that's how I look at it. You could be doing everything right and walk outside and get mauled by a bear. Okay, so you're gonna be mad that you stayed inside the house. You better get out. Don't care. Doesn't matter.
I think we need to change this episode to I don't be knowing how to find the deals. Because that's money right there.
Yeah.
It don't matter about deals. It's called a savings account. Account. Well, I'm kid free, so apparently I can do a little bit more than y'all. But I'm just saying, even if you are not kid free, you need go start a drug cartel. If you really trying to travel, you can. Don't let nothing stop you.
Hey, Kyndra, you should think about this op. You should get you a GoPro. Little selfie stick, bam, and then you could just do a travel vlog in addition to your other stuff and call it Kyndra's Best Life and teach happy-go-lucky black people how to travel. Everyone, but with your face in that untapped market.
Somebody else told me about a blog as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially with the way you kind of handle your commentary and your outlook on life from your IG page. I think you might be missing a cash grab here. I would definitely watch that because your personality is hilarious. Mix that in with traveling, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. All I need is food at that point. You know what I'm saying? So food for thought.
Of course. Everything's in the works. Okay. Listen. Now I'm a little rich broke right now while I'm traveling, but it might burn a hole in your pocket. So one day I'll put that on the Christmas wish list. One of y'all nice consumers who listens to this podcast, y'all can go ahead and ship it to me. I'll give you my P.O. box. All right, because I be migrating like homeless people. Nobody has my address.
Y'all heard that potential sponsors. Y'all look out for my homie over here. Don't do her dirty. She about to make y'all more money than you're already making. So let's make this happen. Let's make it a connection here. All right. So let's get into some of the topics here and then get Kyndra on her way because I do want you to enjoy the rest of your vacation. And first of all, thank you for even making time for our podcast and showing up and showing out. We really do appreciate that.
I've been on the Section 8 waiting list for about 5 months, but I'm like, I'm not going to get approved probably till next year.
You know what? First of all, I want to talk about that, but I want to get into the topic. So let's come back to how this even happened, all right? Because this is basically a cold introduction for a lot of people who don't know, but it's also a creative collective, and this is how the world should be working. Just people getting together, enjoying each other while supporting each other's ventures. So again, I'm so glad that you're here. But want to read some things to you. We're going to get into travel during 2021 or the COVID travel episode of the I Don't Be Normal podcast. A couple of notable things I came across while preparing for this episode. First and foremost, it was a season. Let me see. Okay. Something you need to know when you are traveling now that has changed since the way we used to travel. First and foremost, you can check your bags in and you can have, which has always been the case, but you can have the TSA agent change their gloves every single time they switch to a new bag. A lot of agents won't do it unless you ask, but if you're uncomfortable, if you're worried about COVID being passed to you through your bag, through your luggage, you can literally have them change their gloves right in front of you. Kyndra, were you saying something?
That's an attitude. That's an attitude waiting to happen.
This is why I be driving. I ain't got time for this foo-foo. Like, I agree with Reese. Like, some things. I equate that. You doing that, I equate that to always trying to call somebody out on something when somebody done, like, upset you. Like, man, like, I need to get some point. Like, bro, like, why are you bothered? I'm sorry I didn't call you first this morning. Like, I had other things to do. So no, I could do that, but at the same time, it's like, I don't really care. I throw some anointed oil and I say in the name of Jesus, I'll be well, and this ain't no disease touching on it, and you keep it moving. Like that's it. But if you guys want to, I thank you for telling me that. I hope I'll use it. I might need to use it in the future, but no, I'm okay for right now.
That's the thing, going through like a fast food drive-through. The people that get your card have a glove on, but they just touch the person in front of you's card. You know what I'm saying? So that glove ain't really doing nothing for you. And people just be thinking they safe and not even thinking.
Okay, I feel like I'm about to get
And on top of that, what you're supposed to do is once you actually change your gloves, you're supposed to wash your hands. Are they going? And hand sanitizer does not count as washing hands. You know what's so crazy? Real quick, I'm gonna say this like in 60 seconds or less. So somebody start the timer. Okay, 60 seconds or less. I hate when I come. I was at a park earlier today. And I seen this elder white lady. She walks out the bathroom and goes straight to the hand sanitizer. I'm like, there was soap in the bathroom. But I noticed a lot of people will not use the water and soap, and they will go straight to hand sanitizer. So you got to look at it like that. That's a really good point that you actually had made. But again, they got to wash their hands, and then that takes time, especially if they have a long a long line. I think Sundays, typically, where I'm at Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta, Sundays are the busiest days. So I don't know what other days of the airport are very busy, but what if it's one of those days? I'm not. And again, what if a brawl happens? You know what? Maybe we should listen to you so I could get a one-on-one street fight. Somebody get sock out the police or something like that. The police tases his own self.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. This ain't from me. First of all, this is from NBC 41. But yeah, I'm with you. It feels a little extra, and I will tell you, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, and I was the guy. I feel like I'm going to get judged for saying this, but when COVID first had its #1 album drop, I was the guy who went to the grocery store and would wash his cans when they came home because I was like, they've touched 20 people before I got them. I ain't moving like that anymore, but with that being said, I could see the most anxious version of myself asking the TSA person to change their gloves before they touch my bag. If I gotta take my shoes off, you gotta take your gloves off, brother. How about that? All right, moving on to the next one.
Wait, can I say something else? My favorite part of TSA is telling them to give me a pat down. So it's a great way to get felt on. I love it. That's what I love about TSA.
So you're the person who's like in line volunteering for the pat down. You be
boy back there hot and heavy, be breathing.
Yeah, I mean it's a free massage, man. Take advantage of it. I can't wait. Like I missed my last pat down last week because I was running late, and I still made the flight, and I was behind the girl with a fake butt, and I recorded it, right? But anyway, so I'm like, whose doctor did she go to? They did a bad job. Anyway, back to the story. But this week I'm gonna make sure I get a pat down because I'm gonna arrive early. I'm gonna wear some shorts too. All right, let's move on.
I might be hiding something.
Oh man, I don't even know how to respond to that. That's funny. Okay, so the other thing that NBC 41 covered was flights will change at least once, so be patient. There's a lot of canceled flights, a lot of rearranging and shifting flights around now. So where it used to be a rare inconvenience where your flight gets shifted or has a major delay, they're saying that is currently going to be the new norm for this upcoming travel season. So get there super early and be ready to hurry up and wait. Long story short, Kyndra,
yes,
have you witnessed that part in your airport travels or your time in the airport? Have you noticed an uptick in canceled flights?
When it first started, yes, I did, but no cancellation. I think I got like a message last week about canceling flights or so, but I was pretty much good. So no, I mean that, like I said, that's the only thing that's a risk. You're gonna have to take that risk of, all right, do you want to just continue on flying a plane and having this risk, or do you want to just go ahead and just drive or so? But no, I haven't had that happen. I've had my flight, this is before COVID, 2019, I've had my flight delayed a whole day. So I stayed the night in the airport with 10 minutes of sleep because I was paranoid, that somebody was going to steal my stuff. But it was okay. I'm like, they can't get far. We're in the airport. But they probably could.
They definitely could. But let's take a pause right here. I'm having a tech issue on my end. I need to get this resolved, so we'll come right back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. We had to get that tech issue solved on our end, but we are back up in this joint, and we are going to go with our third notable change / travel tip for your 2021 airport travel season. The number one thing you want to do, I'm going to lump two in. These are technically two, but I'm going to lump them together, and that will get us at our quote of 5, I do believe. That'll put us at 4. We'll get a fifth one in there. But make sure when you purchase your ticket that you purchase travel insurance coverage, as flights are constantly being shifted around and people are constantly getting sick and having to deal with COVID and COVID tests. You want to make sure you can get your money back. I forget the number. Actually, they didn't say the number on NBC, but it was an astronomical amount of money that was non-refundable, i.e. people lost hundreds and thousands of dollars in tickets because they couldn't get their money back, all because they got sick or the flight got canceled at the last minute. So with that, make sure you do that. And also, you want to make sure you check with your destination to find out what their COVID test requirements are. You're going to be okay in most domestic travel situations, but Hawaii still requires that you have a negative test within 72 hours or proof of vaccination before you can fly to Hawaii and touch their land. So those are 4. But I want to get back to our guest here, Kyndra. While we were fixing our tech, you and Reese had a really funny conversation about some of the things you've witnessed in the airport. I wanted to ask you, or Reese, ask that same question because that was a pretty good one.
About the famous people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time I go to the airport, and that's not all the time, of course, but I always keep my eyes open because I'm trying to find that, that famous person trying to blend in and walking through the airport. Who have you seen walk by you, or who have you seen since you've been working at the airport?
Jacquees, he's like 4'2".
Yeah,
T-Pain is extremely short. And T-Pain is so freaking short. I am not lying. I was like, there is no way. There is no way. This man is short, which means his mother and wife are like a foot under him. I'm like, bro, God didn't like y'all. I got a joke for you. For all the people out there who are short, it's because your dad pulled out and the rest of your height landed on the sheets. Anyway.
Wow.
So, who else?
Somebody's big
I honestly
mad
feel
right now.
there's so many short rappers and artists and stuff like that. I feel like there's something in short people's genes. Not their,
But
their
then
Levi's.
maybe again it could be because a lot of people just aren't tall. Like the average man, like isn't like, you don't see a lot of tall people walking around. They're just like average, Let's see. Fetty Wap is tall. I seen MGK. He's tall. Oh
yeah, he looked tall.
Let's see. I've seen
Now,
Alexis Sky.
you said earlier.
I've seen Alexis Sky with that ugly ass tattoo on her neck. I'm like, bro, women get neck tattoos. I'm like, bro, you know better. It's like women smoking cigarettes or women smoking Black and Milds. If you're a woman who smokes Black and Milds, you ain't nothing but an uncle to me. Okay? Anyway. Let's see.
You said you saw
Kirk
my favorite rapper too. You said you saw my favorite rapper too. Who
Kirk Franklin? Oh, wait, he's
also
not a rapper.
noted.
That's Plies.
That's funny. No, Pastor Troy. You said that you run into Pastor Troy 1 or 2 times, correct?
Yeah, it was actually that's like the 4th time I seen him, and yeah, he walked past and I was like, he's like, how you doing? I'm like, how you doing? And I tried to summon him and I said, I like your dress. He's like, thank you. And then he was fading walk off. I'm like, bro, don't you do that? You better come to me. Let this dread love
I knew he
show.
was nice.
Yeah, here's the thing though, but he's still human at the end of the day. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have to, put that WWE SmackDown and had the belt raining over their head. Yeah, but he's tall. He's pretty tall though. He's actually tall. He's tall.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Shout out to Pastor Troy. He got us through many football workouts in my high school days.
Oh yeah.
All right. So with that, let's go ahead, Kyndra. So you mentioned Miami, Denver, Dallas, the Carolinas, and I believe Southern California as well. How does it differ? And maybe we didn't set this up correctly. So you are currently an employee of the airport industry while also being a frequent traveler. How does it differ as far as working and then being the person that I think what I'm trying to ask you is, when you're traveling, do you kind of judge people's quality of service within the airport, and are you like marking what people are, how compliant they are, in comparison to how you handle your clientele while working in the airport industry yourself?
Why did I think you were going to ask a different question than that one?
Because I thought I was going to ask a different question.
So as far as with how I feel like when it comes with me working and like, the passengers and stuff, like me being a passenger, I feel like when it comes with customer service, I think it's just all around the board. It depends on who you are. Maybe if you have that that flight status type, you know, ordeal, that gold member status with a certain airline, you might get treated better. You might actually get that lobster and steak that they claim that they don't have no more, but you're gonna probably get it and everything else. But as far as with me, actually, I mean, there's no difference. You know, TSA is still the same, you know, around the board. I done had a couple of nice TSA people, but they were elderly and they were looking like that worm from SpongeBob SquarePants. You remember like the grandma, when Patrick was taking, this is when SpongeBob was actually worth watching. When Patrick was taking out the woman on the date and she's like, "What? I can't hear you." You know, with the worm in the wheelchair. You know, they look like that because I mean they're nice. They're about to go anyway. But no, I haven't. There's no real difference or anything else like that. People. Let me give you guys. This is the biggest myth. People say, "Oh, you work at the airport, so you get free flights." No, I just get like maybe half off on certain things. Like at my restaurant, I'll get half off on the food. Around the concourse, they might give you 10-20% off, which really ain't nothing. But hey, Barry, you saved a couple of dollars, which really still eats a hole in your wallet. But back to the story. So that's a myth. Like, if you are certain things in the airport, you might be able to get like free flights. But if you really want free flights, the guaranteed thing to do is just to go to, you know, work at like a gate agent or something like that. You know, but no, I don't get free flights. I just call something called savings, which a lot of you adults in quotation marks need to do. Quit asking me for money, okay?
Hey, so every time you come to work, do you have to go to through the TSA? We
do now until they actually fix the employee check-in, and I love that so much better. Now there were still some things about TSA and employee check-in that was similar. Like if we have a coat on, we had to take the coat off. And with that being said, it was a lot better. It was cooler, you know, whatever it might be. So I mean, it's okay. I don't like it now because you know when your stuff is going on the conveyor belt and it's pausing for like 2 minutes until your tray comes out. I'm like, bro, it better not go to the left. Okay, it better not go to the left. That means they gotta search me. I ain't got time for that.
I thought you wanted that pat down.
Hey, I thought you wanted that pat down.
No, here's the thing. Employee security doesn't do no pat down. It's bull crap.
Fair.
I got you.
And then you're looking at your coworker right now where they do it. That's weird. I feel you on that. That's super weird. What's the wildest thing you've seen in the airport?
A kid who had to be like 3 or 4 punching his mom in the leg, and the mom is reasoning with him. You should know what color this child and parent are. I done seen 10 kids and 2 parents. That's not crazy, but I'm like, man, it's beautiful. But at the same time, like, why so many kids? No, and at the same time, I'm like, why so many kids? But at the same time, I'm like, Kyndra, they want kids. You know, you gotta have these multiple thoughts. When people have a lot of kids, you think in your man, like, why you want that many kids? And then other people are like, no, that's their right, type of thing. I've seen people on the airport walking with bare feet. I've seen black people laying down on the airport floor. No, they were not drunk. They just wanted to take a nap. I've seen people... what else have I seen? Dogs trying to attack other dogs while they're on leash.
They got beef? Dogs got beef in the airport?
Yeah. I've seen people walk out the bathroom without washing their hands. I've seen people come up to my kiosk. I'll say, okay, you have to, anytime you use card, you have to sign. Doesn't matter if it's a small purchase or a large. And people have to, you know, use a pen. One girl's like, do I have to really touch your pen? Like, you don't have a napkin I can use? So, because I don't want to touch your pen. So why are you outside? This is COVID. Okay. I'm like, bro, why are you outside then? If you feel that strongly, go home. Right? I've seen, that's really, I would say.
That's all right. That was pretty good. But here's
the thing, though. That's why I always tell people, man, watch my Instagram stories whenever, because I work 3 days out the week. Watch my IG stories, and it's always comedy, man. It's always comedy.
Well, you know what? I think that's a great segue. I did want to ask you how the age differences on those 10 kids, were they all a certain age or were they spread about? But let's get into that.
They were small children. I think the oldest had to be maybe look like 7 years old.
You think how old? You kind of broke up.
Like 7 years old.
Oh my God! So 10 kids under 7? They were not
playing. Looked like it. They weren't,
Reese,
honey.
I thought we had not you and I, but our families. A lot of kids. That's a lot. 10 kids? Dang. That YMCA league must be lit.
But here's my question. Maybe this is another segment for another episode. Why do people, like in the biblical days, people welcome a large village of people, which I believe that maybe a little bit of incest happened, which is why you have more people. That's just my belief. Story for another day. So my question is, why is that people, didn't have a problem with it back then, but like people like, oh man, you got 5, 6 kids, you got 25 kids. What's wrong with that? If a person wants 50 kids, why can't they have 50 kids?
I think it's just. I don't personally have a problem. Like I said, I got 4 kids, but it's just being able to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? I guess there's good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna have all the kids, make sure you can take care of them. But other than that, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a, that's a contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and my take would be not to get all I don't be knowing preachy, but I think back then the difference between now and then was back then you had kids to help take care of your business. Versus now, you have to work or own a business to take care of the kids. So you gotta remember, they had agriculture, farms. Mm-hmm. They needed all these extra hands to come help provide and take care of their kids and the community. Versus now, where every kid is another $1 billion investment over 25 years. So whatever the number may be. So I think that's why people frown upon it now. It's not the kids per se. It's just every time you see a little kid, you're like, man, they go 1 million. 2 million, in my case 3 million, and I'm trying to get up to 5 million. But Kyndra.
Oh shoot, wait, let me say this real quick. Before we segue to the next thing. I've seen black parents put leashes on their children, and I'm like, why is that okay? And somebody said, well, it keeps that child from running away. So leash on kids, I've seen that from black. But you know what I realized? I got to get out of this stereotypical mindset that black people are going to do this one way and white people are going to do this way or Asian people are going to do this way or African, because that doesn't apply to all. That does not apply to all. Everybody's different. Yeah,
please don't live that way. Please don't live that way. But you're traveling, you're going to see it. You're in LA right now or LA County. You're going to see everything. And the one common thread you'll see is everybody's trifling. It don't matter how much melanin is in the skin. Everybody's trifling in their own unique way. But you mentioned your social media. I personally agree where you said it's funny and entertaining, if those were your words. If not, I will put those in your mouth. I think it's very funny. I think it's beyond entertaining. And before I talk about my 2 favorite videos from you right now, tell everybody where they can find you.
Find me on Instagram, The Kyndra Crump Show. The as in the KYNDRA CRUMP Show. Not show with a money sign like ASAP Rocky. Y'all need to quit putting that, okay? Stop doing that. Quit putting this, that, or them. But show SHOW. YouTube is Kyndra Crump. My own podcast is The Kyndra Crump Show. My same name is my Instagram. And you can find me pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, it sounds like you've never rehearsed that before. That was so perfect. Congratulations on that. You are the constant professional. Okay, so if you do go on her IG and you look through some of her videos, you really want to pay attention to something that she's doing, and a lot of people need to do this a lot more. She is serving the people with public service announcements, and she's teaching you how not to get your ass whooped. All right? She's literally serving you the ass whooping announcement. And one of the ones that I think a lot of people need to pay attention to, especially the ladies, I'm getting back into your relationship guru bag for the people. You are teaching the ladies to pay attention to the logging habits of the male to woman relationship. I believe you said in one of your videos that why do men, what are you doing the hell out of a relationship? What you doing? Or a potential relationship. Did I nail that one or no?
That's correct. And what the problem is, guys, even once I tell them that, once they look at that video, they'll still put what you doing. And I'm like,
wait, so just to be clear, everyone, basically what she said in this video is, she said dudes will what you doing the hell out of some good times with the woman that they're targeting. But then she said, pay attention to what they're really doing. If they're hitting you up at the same time and asking you what you're doing, and you're always doing that same thing, now they have an idea of what your habits are, which in my mind lets them build an idea of when to approach you and how to approach you in a conversational format with the agenda of knocking down some walls. So with that being said, make sure you paid attention to the what you doing, fellas. Back up. Wait, actually, woman to man, what advice do you have for the what you doing brothers out there? That's what I really want to know.
The advice is to stop. Why don't you put I think you should put what you're doing when literally there is nothing else to talk about at all. Like, you know, like, or let's say you guys are on the phone and there's a lot of noise in the background. You're like, yo, what are you doing? That's what you can say what you're doing. But if you just texted, talk about something else. How was your day? What's your favorite color? If you don't know, go Google questions to ask. Okay, Google will always help you out. There should be like, because I'm telling you, people, and this is my other issue, man. Guys always want to say what you doing, but when it comes to me saying I'm paying bills, nobody wants to answer to that. It's always without me until you say I'm paying bills.
So do you offer that advice to the women that want to chase the pesky guy off, or the guy that wants to chase the pesky woman off, rebut with paying bills?
I think you should. Or you can say, I was born an opposite gender, whatever you are, and now really run them off.
hey, different strokes for different folks, literally. But yeah, and then also I understand, and I know we're running low, so we got to get you up out of here. We're running low on time. I also understand that you have a special appreciation for the Spanish language. Is that correct?
Yeah, sí, ¿qué onda?
So
I'm lost.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I was literally watching that video yesterday with my wife and my sister-in-law, and you were saying how the man came up to you and said, "You are the light of his life" in Spanish, and I was like, that's a really sweet thing to say. But why don't you let the audience know what he actually said, speaking in Spanish, and we'll let people go out and find out what they don't be knowing about Spanish.
Okay. Yo comer culo. YOCOMERCULO. Yo comer culo.
And so yeah, when I heard you say that, I was like, man, that's sweet. I'm glad people out there giving each other compliments. And my wife said, nah, bro, that's not what that means. So you got me. I don't be knowing Spanish. I'm okay with saying that. You got me. All right, Kyndra, we're gonna get you up out of here. Before we go, every guest has to do one thing, two things before they go, and that is when they got to take our 5-on-5 rapid fire test. Okay, so I'm gonna give you
ahead.
5 quick this or that questions. You're gonna respond without thinking. All right.
All right.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
L.A. or New York?
Haven't been to New York. I'll just say L.A.
Gatorade or Powerade?
Powerade.
Hey, finally I found somebody. Okay. Social media or actual parties? In-person parties?
Actual parties? Are you kidding me? Yes.
Shouldn't even be a question.
It shouldn't. Okay. $1 million or no rent for 3 years?
No rent for 3 years.
You are a smart person. Okay, and did you say waffles over pancakes?
Yes, like that's my favorite breakfast, pancakes. I don't like Waffle House. I like IHOP.
Okay, thank you. Girl, I was about to
Everybody
say
in
you
Atlanta
are not
just
welcome
canceled
back.
me.
If you said waffles,
What
you
you
are
eat?
not welcome back.
What's wrong with waffles?
Ain't nothing wrong with waffles, but why would you eat a waffle when you got a pancake?
I mean,
Okay, Reese. All right, I'm just questioning everything right now. Okay, we'll come back and unpack that later. Right now, we're going to help Kyndra pack her bags up so she can fly up off this podcast. Kyndra, I want you to come back. I want to do a deep dive episode with you. That's when the three of us, find out a brand new subject together and explore it and have commentary on that. Your personality will be perfect to find out some wild shit. So I do want you to come back. But before we go, I want to thank our listeners for tuning in to episode 12 of the I Don't Be Knowing podcast. I want to thank you, Kyndra, for being a part of it, lending us your time, energy, and your comedy. You plugged your social media, but for those who didn't catch that the first time, you can find Kyndra at Kyndra, Kyndra, Crump, CRUMP show. And if you don't know how to spell show, I'm not going to pick on you because this is the I Don't Be Knowing podcast. But Get a dictionary. With that being said, make sure you follow me and Reese. You know where to find us in our bio. Leave us 5-star reviews. And make sure you go check out Kyndra and all that she has to offer. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. I've been Trox.
I've been your boy Reese.
Who you been down there, young lady?
The HNIC.
You're damn right. All right, y'all. Let's be friends, people. We'll see you out the next episode.
Let's be friends.
All right, we out.